I'm Nick Seco from Home Right Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows, we do steel and fiberglass entry doors, we do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState.
Dan Dedona here with the localnews1.org weekly report covering Hagerstown, Chambersburg, Waynesboro, and all the communities that make up our local area. We're going to start off with 5 things to do this Labor Day weekend. Should be a lot of fun. If you are a Taylor Swift fan, the Washington County Playhouse in Hagerstown, Maryland is going to be putting on Shake It Off, a tribute to the music of Taylor Swift. That'll be tonight actually, August 29th at 6 p.m., obviously at the Washington County Playhouse. The show features pop icon's greatest hits. There'll be singers and dancers, and it's basically celebrating the end of her Eras tour. There's dinner, dessert, and a cash bar included, so as you might expect, tickets will range anywhere from $57 to $67 with a $3 order fee. The performance does include some mature themes, so bear that in mind. You can get details about and tickets at WashingtonCountyPlayhouse.com. That's WashingtonCountyPlayhouse.com at 309-739-7469. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, the Arts Alliance of Greater Waynesboro and Destination Arts is hosting Jammin' in the Park with music. It's a music and arts festival. That'll be on Sunday, August 31st from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 p.m. That'll be at Main Street Park. There will be 7 different local bands, including Clay Band, BBD Trio, and Kin Selection. There'll be 2 stages, be a mix of rock, blues, country, bluegrass, and pop. It's sponsored by the Waynesboro Construction and F&M Trust, and it offers free kids activities. There's also a 50-50 drawing, food from C&G Jerk Chicken, Gerber Burger, and Antietam Dairy, plus craft beer from Rough Edges for those over 21. Admission is $15, free for children under 12, or 12 and under I should say, and tickets are available at artsalliancegw.org or cash only at the gate. Number 3, in Shippensburg, the Pennsylvania Gospel Festival is being brought to you by the Shippensburg Lures Performing Arts Center. That'll be 3 days, August 29th through the 31st. There'll be powerhouses like Booth Brothers and Legacy 5, the Isaacs, and comedian Tim Lovelace. 3 days, 4-session event. Should be a lot of fun. Zane and Donna King will lead worship throughout, and tickets for individual sessions or the full event are available online at the Lures Center. Number 4, Sunday, August 31st, from noon until 6 at Schaefer Park at 37 Park Drive in Boonesboro. They're going to have a culinary carnival with the Boonesboro Food Truck Festival. Attendees can savor dishes from 20 different trucks. There'll be live music all day long. There'll be craft beverages and an expanded garden, a cornhole tournament, kids zone. Lots of activities. It's a community feast, so take advantage of that if you're in the area or if you're looking for something to do on Sunday afternoon. And number 5, in Shippensburg, they will be hosting their 44th annual Corn Festival on August 30th from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. They'll be drawing crowds to celebrate local artistry and flavors with more than 250 vendors. Well, that's a lot of vendors. Offering everything from hand-poured soy candies and goat milk soaps to freeze-dried sweets and Pennsylvania wines, which are actually pretty good, by the way. If you haven't had Pennsylvania wines, you should try some every once in a while. This whole event's going to take place at the Shippensburg Fairgrounds. There'll be live entertainment, handmade goods. They're sponsoring this to foster community spirit and support regional creators. And we're going to add a 6th because in Thurmont, Maryland, a little bit far afield for us, but not too far. In Thurmont, Maryland, Our Lady of Mount Carmel Catholic Church is hosting its annual Labor Day Festival on Monday from noon until 5 p.m., September 1st. That'll be at 103 North Church Street in Thurmont. There'll be fried chicken, baked ham, plenty of sides, takeout options. So there's an air-conditioned dining room and with ample seating. Parking is offered on site. $15 for an adult, $6.50 for children aged 6 to 12, and free for those 5 and under. It's a community tradition, and it aims to bring families together for food and fun on a federal holiday. So those are the things to do this weekend. Shifting now to the news from the past week, we're going to open with Penn State Mont Alto. Yes, it's still in the news. There was a closed meeting held at the campus yesterday between 9 and 11 o'clock to discuss repurposing. Apparently, Penn State has decided that they want to move right past addressing local people's concerns and right into what do we do with all these facilities, assuming we can't just sell them outright. LM Local News 1 found that Representative Chad Reichard, Franklin County Area Development Corporation's Mike Ross, and others were from the local area and from Adams County too. People who have an interest in forestry school out there were all invited. We expect Wellspan was probably invited, although we have not heard anything on that. There were protests. There were students who, I think we reported on this about a week or two ago, that some students who attended a Penn State Congress of Governments came back, and they were more than a little upset that their questions weren't being answered. So they protested quietly, peacefully, and answered a variety of questions outside of the meeting. In Hagerstown, the camping ban, which we've talked about on multiple occasions, has drawn additional criticism. There are a number of local advocates. If I could summarize this, everybody understands that there's a housing element to this, there's an economic employment element to this. What we've found, though, is that a lot of the local advocates want the housing to come first and then move everybody out of the public areas. They're citing a 22.7% poverty rate in Hagerstown. The council is proceeding with its plans, but interesting thing in our very next item, the Hagerstown Housing Authority is presenting a final draft of a choice neighborhoods plan, which is going to be pitched. An application needs to go into the federal Department of Housing and Urban Development by the 13th of September. Apparently the city council has approved it to go forward. Their goals are housing, families, and neighborhoods. The plan itself talks about increasing the number of housing units in the Hagerstown area by, depending upon which of the options they eventually choose and get financed, anywhere from 173 to 233 additional units. So I guess the good news story there is, even while the council was debating this, some of these same concerns were raised, but but they are public spaces, and people are entitled to be able to go to walk through there without finding trash or whatever conditions they might find with people more or less permanently camped out in local parks. It seems all we're quibbling about right now is the exact timing. And it's going to take time to create more housing if that's the most critical of all the factors. Although employment would seem to be equally or even more important, so that these people that are homeless can actually afford to get out of cars or get out of encampments in public spaces and find housing on their own. That would seem to, if they're able, that would seem to be the better solution. But more to follow on that. Hopefully they'll continue the path that the council has followed, and says, well, okay, we understand that there's a lot of problems, but we need to find ways to work together to solve them, and it's not all going to happen all at once. Also in Hagerstown, it's funny how sometimes the news shifts wildly from it's all about Chambersburg, it's all about Waynesboro, Greencastle. A couple of weeks ago during Old Home Week, this week it seems to be an awful lot of news from Hagerstown. Several months ago, we reported that locomotive 202 was going to be removed from City Park and turned over to the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad in Cumberland. Well, the public stood up and indicated that no, that they really don't want that to happen. Locomotive 202 is tradition. They like taking their kids there. They wanted to keep it. They raised their voices, and the city council deferred on that matter. So locomotive 202 is going to be staying in City Park. They basically voted down a resolution to move it out. So for those of you who wanted the railroad in place, it actually makes a lot of sense. Railroads had an awful lot to do with why Hagerstown is the way Hagerstown is today. So that would seem to be a pretty important touch point in terms of your local history. Also in Hagerstown, the Heart of the Civil War is an organization that brings tourism and does a lot of work in the Hagerstown area for historical preservation. They had reps at the recent council meeting, asking to continue $10,000 in support for the organization, which is in the third of 6 years of a plan to improve historical conditions in downtown Hagerstown. They're also getting ready for the 250th anniversary next year in 2026. Their argument was they need an extra $10,000 every year from the city so that they can continue to bring in what they said was $1.2 million in grants, heritage grants from the Heritage Authority in the state. Good argument. We'll see what they do with that. It's kind of tough if an organization, even a city, starts out supporting somebody as part of a multi-year plan, and they know about that in advance, to suddenly cut it off. It's not a lot of money, but it is $10,000. So we'll see how that turns out. In Waynesboro, finally, shifting out of Hagerstown news for a moment. In Waynesboro, the YMCA pool reopened on the 22nd of August. They received $330,000 of donations toward their $350,000 goal. What they needed to do was repair leaks, put in a new filter and a pump, and reinforce the bottom of the pool. And they had to move some equipment around in order to make all the magic happen. At any rate, the pool is back open. Great job by the staff and leadership there at the Waynesboro pool. Both the high school and the YMCA get a lot of benefit out of that. So that was a good thing. In county news, Franklin County's portion of the Foundation to Enhance Communities, TFEC, is called the Community Foundation, the Franklin County Community Foundation. This is the way TFEC is organized. They're actually physically located, the larger organization is located in Harrisburg, but they have a number of regional organizations who actually have their own separate funding and financing and do their own awards unique to, in this particular case, Franklin County. Well, they have recently awarded $91,000 in grants within Franklin County to, I'll just list a few of them: libraries, food banks, fire companies, Habitat for Humanity, and many, many more. So good effort on their part. In Chambersburg, we've been talking about mosquito sprays for a number of weeks now, and tis the season. Well, they've been spraying. They've been finding high levels of West Nile virus in the Chambersburg area, as well as many of these others. So they sprayed on the 27th of August. It's part of their continuous Franklin County effort. They've actually got a full-time staff that takes a look at, well, not only mosquitoes, but ticks and other kinds of pests that need to be managed throughout the county. They, as usual, they offer pretty standard guidelines. While they're actually spraying, stay indoors, let this stuff permeate the outdoors and get at the mosquitoes. And they also make the recommendation to wander around your property and see if you've got anything that is retaining water, because even a bottle cap of water is sufficient to support mosquitoes in their larval stage while they're growing. So, to the extent that you can eliminate that, you can help to control the growth of mosquito populations in your area. Also in Franklin County, the commissioners met on the 27th of August. They approved $74,000 for jail expenses and an agreement with the Indiana County to house overflow when they have too many prisoners at the Franklin County jail facility. They've got a place to go if they if they got too many people there. They, among other things, they also appointed Chris Ardinger to the Housing Authority Board. There was $2 million for routine city or county operations, I should say. The Washington County Commissioners also met on 26 to hear 2040 comprehensive plan. It was a revisit before they also had a revisit of the public and building tax ordinances, and they were taking a look at financing some public safety software. It's an upgrade that will improve operations in the county. They also approved an agreement. Washington County approved an agreement to partner with Hagerstown Community College to enhance paramedic programs. They've better aligned their organizations so that they can share both training and oversight responsibilities. Back to Franklin County, the library system, they have a program that they've been using for several years now called 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. An interesting program, but the idea is if you can read a lot of books to children before they ever come to kindergarten, it helps them to develop an ability to learn to read and appreciation for reading. So they've gotten grants from several organizations, including WellSpan, and with the kind of results they got, they've increased the number of books that they have available for this program that are age appropriate, and they've been able to help over 500 families in the past year. Hagerstown Community College in Maryland is also initiating a small business development center launch called the Business Startup Accelerator. This is basically it's a 12-session program that will teach entrepreneurs as well as Hagerstown Community College students a lot of the details about what you need to do to be able to set up a small business. Everything from personnel to finance to accounting to marketing, which frequently gets forgotten, I have to tell you. Marketing is a tough problem. Recently heard an interesting quote from Henry Ford to the effect that a man who tries to save money by cutting advertising is like a man who tries to save time by turning off a clock. That really, as a small business owner myself, that really strikes home. Marketing is tough. At any rate, it's $129 for all 12 sessions. This is a bargain for getting professional training and all the elements of what you're going to need as an entrepreneur. So if you have a small amount of money that you can devote to that and take the training, I highly recommend it. Also in Hagerstown, the Bar Construction Institute, or BCI, is addressing the continuing shortage, or I should say growth in demand for construction tradespeople. They typically have anywhere from 300 to 400 students who participate in a over a 4-year program, but with the demand for construction talent growing, they're going to be moving to a 15,000 square foot facility located in the D.L. Bowman complex. This is also an interesting program in that you can earn on the job. So while you're learning, you can be earning money at the same time. So can't do that all the time. That's pretty good. Under police news, Waynesboro Police identified a new scam. Apparently, a lot of people have taken to searching for rental properties online, and there's nothing wrong with that. But some of these sites will ask for, and some of them are bogus sites, will ask for all kinds of personal financial information. Obviously, the general rule on that is verify exactly who you're talking to first. What are their credentials? Do they actually represent a financing organization? You need to know who you're talking to before you start sharing Social Security numbers and bank account numbers and all that kind of stuff with people. So the general rule is, if you don't know these people, just don't share. Under people news, we have several topics. In Waynesboro, the Reverend Dennis Beaver is retiring after 40 years in the ministry, 16 of those at the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Waynesboro. There's a great story in localnews.1 about how long ago, he was perhaps one of the most unlikely people that you would think would ever become a minister. But there's a great story about how he and his wife of many years came to a conclusion, and he went to the ministry school over in Gettysburg and has been doing great ever since. Good story. It's a great story about how things turn when you least expect them and in directions that you least expect. There's also a story talking about interesting transitions. A gentleman over in Hagerstown, Curtis Meyer, who spent, he's in his 60s now, he spent 40 years, as he says, being a slave to addiction and alcoholism. He is now recovering, and he is also serving with Meritus as a recovery coach. I guess the idea there is, if you've actually got experience with this, perhaps you can help walk people out of that dependence. So anyway, there's a good story about him. And in Waynesboro, Ivy Gladhill has been appointed as Buttonwood's new communications director. She will be replacing Andrea Struble, who has been performing that function particularly well for, geez, it must be decades. She's been there for just about forever. Anyway, Ivy brings graphic design and skills, as well as a degree in psychology. And Tracy Holliday over there just thinks she's going to be great, because she's bringing great skills to convey the message of Buttonwood to the public. Okay, that's all for the stories for the day. I will tell you that we are soon going to be adding some theatrical activities in our entertainment section. Property transfers, for those of you who want to keep track of who's buying and who's selling. Crossword puzzles, and an enhanced local advisory service. Local News 1 is very proud to be the news source for the Verstandig media. You can see all the local news at localnews1.org. All local, no national. We just don't do national. We just stick to local right here in our area. Chambersburg, Hagerstown, Waynesboro, and the area around. And we'll close today with the thought of the day. A number of boats recently crushed each other against their mooring structure. Yet another example of peer pressure. Bada bing. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Take care.
Let's talk TriState.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.